Hello, my name's Scott Perry. I'm a professional magician and this is a magic review. It's a kind of magic. You made your thoughts clear in my recent post. The first thing that you wanted me to review was Any Thought Of Card to Pocket by Geraint Clarke and Christian Grace. So that's what we'll be reviewing today. The TLDR on this is it's a really good card trick. It's really practical. There are a couple of things to do with setup, how practical it is with a deck that you want to use for other tricks, but we'll come into that later on in the review. Overall, it's a really practical trick, and they do also give you another method later on. So overall, I really recommend this. It's a really good product. It's really well thought out, and it's simple, direct, and hard-hitting card magic. That's enough of the TLDR. What is it? Well, the clue is in the name, really. It's a thought of card to pocket. But to be a bit more specific, you give the cards a shuffle, you give the deck of cards a shuffle, you give the cards to the spectator, they count off 10 cards into their hand, and then they spread the cards very fairly. They think of one card from that fan, and then moments later, you haven't touched the packet that they're holding onto. Moments later, they count the cards. There's only 9, so one has literally vanished from the packet of cards, and it's the one they thought of. And then that can be revealed in your pocket, in your wallet, in wherever you want to make that card reappear. So that's what it is. It's truly a thought of card to impossible location. But what do you get with any thought of card to pocket? You get this little package. On the inside of the flap, there's a link to the instructions, which is, I think, about 45 minutes. It's Geraint Clarke and Christian Grace talking you through everything you need to know. The instructions are downloadable as well. You access them via Ellusionist's website, and you also receive 8 gaffs. So one of these gaff cards is something that you can replace very easily, that's very common, and then the other 7 gaffs are very difficult to replace, and I think you would struggle to replace them. So you will have to buy them again eventually, because, as we know, cards wear out. I'm sure they'll last a while though, and the effect is only £28, or like roughly $30, US dollars that is. So it's not crazy expensive to buy again. There's a lot of value in it. It's a wonderful card trick, but overall, that's what you receive when you buy any thought of card to pocket. A few gaffs, 8 in particular, and I'm going to touch on the gaffs that I received at the end of the review, but that is it for the what do you get section. How easy is it? I would say it's not super easy. It's certainly not self-working, but there is an aspect of it that is self-working. So you will have to do a little bit of kind of minor sleight of hand, and there are a few things that you will have to know about card magic, a couple of moves and things. And it is assumed that you will know those things, like a false shuffle and things like this, kind of basic card mechanics that, like I say, is assumed that you will have a amateur, beginner, up to intermediate experience with playing cards. So there's no explanation of sleights or anything, because, as I say, the aspect that is self-working is actually the cards doing everything for you. So while it's not the hardest card trick in the world, it will require a little bit of audience management, and it will require a small amount of thought from yourself. But overall, it's like on a medium scale, is a 5 out of 10, I would say, for difficulty. Reset time is fairly fast. It's near instant. So the cards, you're going to take them back. You're going to put them back into the pack of cards, and you'll pretty much reset from there. The card that you've revealed from your pocket or from your wallet or wherever you want to reveal it from, that goes back into that location. And then, as I say, you're pretty much reset and ready to go. You wouldn't want to perform it to the same group of people twice, because that would give away certain aspects of the method, but it's a very fast reset. Angles are pretty much perfect as well. There's nothing really to see. You can do this completely surrounded, and it's very fair. The handling, both from your point of view as the magician and also the spectators handling the cards, because they do handle the gaff cards, as long as you direct them properly, I think that there are no angle restrictions to this at all. Pocket space is very good. I mean, ultimately, it's not going to take up any pocket space because these cards are in your deck, and the cards that you have in here, they are removed from your deck of cards. So these ones replace it. So you're only carrying a deck of cards that you would ordinarily carry anyway. And a nice touch, because without giving too much away, I think there's a certain amount of using outs in this card trick. So it's not truly any thought of card to pocket, because one card might be in your pocket, one card might be in your left pocket, one card might be in your wallet. So there's a few different outs, but the nice thing about this is that the cards that you do remove from the deck of cards, one of these ones that the spectator truly is going to think of randomly and freely, they will be in your pockets. So if you want to swap them out and take the gimmicks out at some point and perform with a completely regular deck, you can do very quickly. So pocket space is very, very good. My final thoughts on this, if you can't tell already, is that I really recommend it. I'm sorry that I couldn't get this to you sooner, this review. I know that it's been a week or a couple of weeks since I made a post on YouTube asking who wants me to review which of the 3 effects first, but it did take a little while for Christian, because Christian is currently in the US, so it took a little while for him to send this package out to me from the UK. But I'm glad to finally have it here so that I can show you, so that I could share my review with you. I know there are a lot of you who do trust my reviews, and I thank you and I appreciate your continued loyalty. A final thought as well is that the cards are printed on a red riderback, bicycle riderback. The one card that is quite easily replaced, that is just a regular gaff. The other 8 cards, mine anyway, in my package, the faces of the card were quite sticky where the ink was raised. So they say that the cards are printed by USPCC, but I'm not sure if the face of the cards are printed on top of USPCC cards, because they have some sort of raised sticky ink on, unless USPCC have recently changed the way they're printing playing cards. But that's not to say that you'll have any problems with them. They're really high quality, just a bit odd for me to feel the face of the card to be a bit rough and also sticky. There's also another point that I want to really make clear, is that you don't have to perform the effect with the gaffs. There is an amazing routine, and arguably better routine than with the gaffs, that Christian supplies in the instructions, where it's a completely impromptu. All you need is one gaff that you do get in this, and then you're completely ready to go. Oh, you also do need a marked deck as well for this particular method. But if you have a marked deck and then this other gaff card that is supplied in the package, then Christian takes you through a whole routine where it's essentially exactly the same effect, but completely impromptu, which, as I say, arguably is better than the effect with the gaffed cards. It's not quite as direct, and it's not quite as streamlined, but wow, it's amazing. And, you know, to be impromptu as well is great. So yes, I think that's everything that I have to say. I think today is the 6th or the 7th of May, 2023, if you're watching this from the future. These are currently on pre-order on the Ellusionist website. The next batch are shipping on the 10th of May, or they're expected to ship on the 10th of May. So I do know that these are selling out fast. There is a reason why they are. It's a really great effect. Also, when you first start watching the instructions, the way that Geraint and Christian do go into the explanation, or the introduction of it, it does seem quite overwhelming, and it is quite off-putting as well. So bear with it. Stick with the instructions, because my initial thought was, oh god, I'm going to have to do this and this, and there's a stack and there's this, but actually it's a very simple effect. So don't be too disheartened if you're watching the tutorial instructions and you're thinking, oh my god, I'm never going to be able to do it. Just stick with it, give it a chance. It's not actually that difficult to perform. That, I think, is everything. As always, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, And if you have any questions at all about this effect, leave it in a comment below and I'll get back to you when I have a chance. I'll see you in the next review.